Media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome in on another beautiful Wednesday. It's Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, but on Wednesday, we switch it up a little bit and we bring in Anson, Michigan State's own resident heckler for the Detroit Pistons. What's going on, my guy?
It is a beautiful Wednesday. You said beautiful Wednesday, but that's an understatement.
I didn't play it like I should have, did I?
Yesterday
Go ahead and do
and
that.
Today, everybody, all Detroit, all of Michigan is enjoying this weather. This is truly Indian summer. I believe it comes to a close tomorrow.
Yeah, politically correct. We can't say Indian summer anymore, but we know that is exactly what it is. I'm being funny, Anson.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if that got. I didn't know that got canceled.
Do you know why it's called? And we'll say Native American summer just to be somewhat politically correct.
I am Native American. We covered this before the show.
You say you are. I got proof.
I am. I'm an eighth.
White people always want to say Native American.
I swear.
We have a photo of our ancestor that was considered.
I need proof.
Cherokee.
It's always Cherokee or Chippewa.
No, it's not Chippewa.
It's not Iroquois. You never go outside the Chippewa Cherokee. What?
All right, let me school you.
Pontiac.
Let me school you, KG.
Hey, was that your
The reason why it's always Cherokee is because the Cherokee made an agreement with the U.S. government. It's called the Trail of Tears. They sold out all of their neighboring tribes. That's why when you actually meet somebody seriously indigenous, you hold back the Cherokee because they're not a big fan.
Hold on. I was going to tell you about the Native Summer and why it was. We went to the Trail of Tears, which is a whole nother conundrum. Let's stray away from that.
You didn't know that his great-great-great-grandfather was the face on the Redskins helmet?
It was a female on my grandmother's side.
Andrew Jackson, by the way. Look, we've gotten way off course. Let's get back on track. Today marks
the warm weather. It's crazy, baby.
You know what? And today marks the 50th anniversary of Ali Foreman. I think we'll start there. Tom Masaway, Ali Foreman, the Rumble in the Jungle, the infamous rope-a-dope. They said Ali was too old, over the hill, had nothing for this young man out of Texas and George Foreman. And I think it didn't go the way they thought.
Oh, man, Ali was just trash-talking him from like the second round on. He was like, you're a big dummy, George. You're a big dummy. Hey, it's only the 6th round. Look at you. You're winded already.
It started with training, though, man. That's how he would pop up in their training sessions.
Yes, Ali. What was that? Ali.
Boomaye.
Ali.
Boomaye means kill him, is the translation. Ali, kill him.
Ali knockout in the 8th round. It was amazing. Regained the heavyweight championship again. Of course, George Foreman reinvented himself years later after that and became a great champion
Foreman
again.
Baby. You know how much money that man is making on the Home Shopping Network back
That's
in the day?
how you know his hand's strong.
All right, here we go. That's one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time. Arguably the greatest. Tom Masaway. You probably say Joe Frazier.
Frazier Ali.
There we go. And that Madison Square Garden, home of. What's the most memorable or what's the biggest title fight you've ever seen?
Ooh.
Title fight. We're going to go around so everybody gets a shot at this.
So many.
It's a lot.
But
I got one.
You just got to give me.
Does it have to be heavyweight?
No, not at all. Not at all.
For some reason, Lennox and it was Tyson Lennox, right?
Yeah.
That one sticks out for me. My dad always had boxing parties at the house. Back into the early 80s, I remember fights. Honestly, it was probably it was Sugar and Hitman, and unfortunately Hitman lost. But my dad's a friend of his, and I grew up loving on some Hitman. But I'm also a big Tyson
1981.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. You know what that fight symbolized? That symbolized the official end of Tyson, because that was everybody's last-ditch effort that he would beat Lennox and prove he was still the Mike Tyson, Iron Mike. Once he lost that one, Tyson fans.
Was that after Holyfield?
Yeah, it was after
he bit Holyfield's ear.
That was before. That was before. He lost to Lennox, and then he fought Holyfield.
Yeah. Right.
But after he lost to Lennox, real Tyson fans, we knew it was over.
I'm still upset about that loss. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm still pissed about that loss to Lennox.
KG, what you got for him?
To Lennox.
It's a lot, man. But the first one that comes to mind is Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, bro.
Oh.
They fought 4 times. I think Pacquiao won 3 of those, but each time that they fought,
should have been 2 and 2. Marquez got cheated one of those.
He did.
Yeah.
But, man, every time they fought, it was a war. That was Manny Pacquiao in his prime, man. And he's one of my favorite fighters.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite welterweights ever. So.
I can appreciate that, KG. That's a good call. Tom Masaway, you already spoke?
Oh, God, I can go for hours here.
All right,
Hours,
give
but,
us off the cuff one.
My best
No
was Leonard
Ali.
Hearns. Leonard Hearns was my favorite.
Okay.
For sure. But then Ali against Norton, Ali Frazier,
Ooh.
Ali Foreman.
Norton beat Ali up.
Well, Leon Spinks against Ali.
Yeah.
Leon Spinks beat Ali on national television. It was on Channel 4, NBC.
Ali was 65.
You're right.
No,
That
not
was the
yet.
Parkinson's fight right there.
Yeah.
No, he beat him before.
Yeah.
Then Ali came back and beat him at the Superdome
Yeah.
to take the title back like 6 months later. I mean, there's so much. Ken Norton's one of my favorites.
I played
So many great fighters.
Ken Norton
Larry
Jr.
Holmes, my God.
Ken Jordan Jr., linebacker.
Yep.
He was a coach in Seattle for the linebackers and defense when I was there,
Yep.
so I got a chance to
Remember
meet
his celebration? He would always hit the goalpost.
100%.
He'd always hit the goalpost.
His father died when I was in Seattle, man. It was like a terrible
Loved
time
Ken
for
Norton.
him.
Ken Norton was an Adonis.
Yeah, he was great. The Cowboys and the 49ers. You're talking about being blessed to get a chance to play for the two best organizations of the
Yep.
time. Pete?
I got a few real quick. I'll just run them down real quick. That marvelous Marvin Hagler versus Tommy Hearns, man. That fight,
You got
especially
it,
that
Pete.
first round,
People
for God's
talk about
sakes.
that fight. I
You
wish
got
I
it.
You
could
want to see two guys trying to kill each other in 3 minutes?
You
There
talking
you go.
about brain
Watch
fight.
the
You
first
talking about
round of the
brain damage.
Hagler-Hearns fight. Now, recently, and I say recently within the last 10 years, I was at Clarissa Shields' first title fight.
that's
you know what?
garbage.
Clarissa
So
slander.
I know.
That's garbage.
Hey, you know what? You can
Don't
go
talk
F yourself
garbage,
because
right.
Clarissa
Do not-
Shields is top talent, and I really enjoyed
Woman
watching
boxing,
Clarissa
thank you.
Shields. But the fight
No
that I really
thanks.
remember, because I used to go to Cobo Friday night fights at Cobo with my dad, but my dad and I watching Foreman versus Michael Moore. That was probably one of my favorite fights there, Bray.
I changed my mind. Excuse me. Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard. Leonard's comeback fight.
Yeah.
That was
And
good.
they called it a draw.
No, it was a split decision. It went to Leonard.
Went to Leonard.
Went to
and
Leonard.
Marvin was
Hagler
pissed.
never got over that fight.
It took him 9
Ever.
years to fight.
Yep. Never got
him
over
9
it.
years.
You weren't
to
a
fight.
Layla Ali fan?
No, I'm not a woman boxing fan.
She was a monster.
No, she was.
Oh, come on,
She
man.
had a great window
Women
of fights,
beating up
man.
women, it don't do it for me.
Here we go. I agree with you
Cat
on
fights
that
are
one.
great. Come on.
No,
Who
that-
was actually
that ain't a
against
cat
cat
fight.
fights?
solid.
Here
Women's
we
boxing
go.
is solid.
I'm going with a little known rivalry by the name of Riddick, Bo, and Evander Holyfield. Best
Love
trilogy.
Bo Holyfield.
Best
Great.
trilogy I've ever seen.
Fantastic.
Best trilogy I've ever seen.
Fantastic.
And something more recently,
Nothing.
yeah.
It hasn't been
You know
the
what it
same.
is? I like the Gypsy King when he fights.
Oh, no, yeah.
Who did he
Tyson
lose
Fury,
to?
he's the man.
They're having a rematch.
Him and Alexander Usyk.
No, he don't need.
That's it. How do you
he-
pronounce
he-
his last name?
Alexander
Usyk.
Usyk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done. Like,
No.
he needs to go sit down somewhere.
I wouldn't
Gypsy
say
King
he's
is done?
but-
Pete, we've been talking about Caesar Sports Gambling a little bit.
Yeah,
man. That's
you've
who
been
we
on fire,
represent, the Sportsbook of Woodward Sports. In the words of a great American poet, the American dream, Dusty Rose. What's going on, all my babies? I'm out there. I'm just riding the back of a lightning bolt right now. All my plumbers out there that are hard-working American man. I'm winning on these bets. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I'm on
That's
a
a
hit.
good impression.
Easy money last night as we jump into the Yankees and the Dodgers, and the Yankees actually clobbered the Dodgers last night, 11-4. They joined the party, if you will. Series now sits at 3-1. But Freddie Freeman is having a magnificent World Series run. He's had home runs in 6 consecutive World Series games dating back to his Atlanta Braves win in 2021. Yesterday was no different. Maz, I'll tell you what, I came in the house, the game had already started. I turned on the TV. I saw the camera on Freddie Freeman. I said, I know Freddie didn't do it already. I just got home. Already did it. So what do you think about the game, the series now? The Yankees have a pulse. KG doesn't seem to think so.
Yeah.
He seems to think it's done, which I understand. Is there a pulse for these Yankees, especially since Aaron Judge got a hit at the end?
They do have a pulse. It's,
Okay.
it's faint, but they do have a pulse. They play one more game at home, and I think they'll win tonight. I really do. I think it'll be a great pitching matchup. It's Garrett Cole against John Flaherty. Flaherty and him went toe-to-toe on Friday night. Remember that game went to extra innings, and you know what happened.
If Cole doesn't get pulled, Maz, bringing that back.
88 pitches.
If Cole doesn't get pulled because of analytics, and if they play
Yep.
just a gut-feeling type baseball, is this a different World Series right now?
Yankees I think would have won that game.
Yeah, I
because
think
they
so,
had
too.
to use Luke Weaver early instead of saving him for the end. And Aaron Boone's made mistakes. And yesterday the Dodgers kind of laid that game to the Yankees. They did. They played their benches. They played their bench pitching yesterday. So Dave Roberts played what I call house money. He's up 3-0. they'll try their best tonight. Shohei Ohtani, of course, he's about 75%, maybe 50%, which still makes him very dangerous. But you know what? The guy just hits or walks. Very rarely strikes out. Got a strikeout last night, though. We'll see how it goes tonight. I do like the Yankees tonight. Then they take it back for the weekend in L.A., and who knows, man.
All right, same game, different topic, Anson Wells, as I bring you in. Last night, Mookie Betts going to catch a foul out, runs into the fans, and the fans take the ball out of Mookie.
They take the glove.
They take the glove. They take the ball out of his hands. They rough him up, if you will. Side note, Gronkowski was on TV. I can't think of his Fox show or whatever he does. But he was talking about he went to college with the guy that was the fan.
Oh, God.
The fan that took it off. He said he was playing hockey for the club team. He said he was wild. If Rob Gronkowski is calling you wild,
Yeah, that's
you were a wild boy. I got to check the
You're
requirements.
more than wild. You're probably certifiably crazy.
Yeah, you're insane. But anyway, going back to it, the MLB has suspended these two for the rest of the postseason, the rest of this series, and they will return their money. Do you think they're making too much of it? Is it too big of a deal? Are you one of these outraged fans, or is it like it's a Yankees home game? It should be like that.
Well, first and foremost, you're asking the heckler.
And that's why I brought it to you.
So for me, I truly believe in home field, home court advantage, and you take that to whatever extreme you can within the rules. I think we saw in the Cleveland series where the guy was pushing the net out so that the ball couldn't get caught on a foul.
Yeah, that was good.
Listen, we've never seen anything like this. You could describe it as despicable. However, I absolutely love sport moments
Look
like
at you.
this.
You're a heckler, of course.
That's what I'm saying. If that's me right there, I'm battling for that ball. This is the World Damn Series. I don't know how they're going to judge it or to call it, the umps. I don't know what Blue's going to say. But for me, if I have an opportunity to save an out or to get a run or to whatever it is, I'm going to take it, even if you ban me.
Pete,
because
over the line?
It's the World Series, man.
Over the line or no?
No, I don't think he's over the line at all. I think he's absolutely right on par. I would do whatever I could to defend my team, defend my hometown, defend my fan base. I have absolutely no problem with it. Maybe a little bit too far, but I have no problem with the fans being fans. They paid for their seat. They have the right to be there. Just don't be an ASSHOLE. But, aside from that, I think they have every right to do what they need to do to help the team win.
Pete, how about the poop-eating grin on that dude's face
Isn't it great?
of satisfaction right after it flops out? The only issue that I had with it was when his buddy grabbed Mookie's hand. Like, if you want to wrestle with the one dude with the ball in the mitt, when the other guy grabbed Mookie, that was the issue I had.
Yeah, that was bad. It was overdone. But you know what? As a Yankee fan, and call us sore losers, call us whatever. We're down 3-0. It looks like we're getting our asses swept. You know what? That's the only thing at that point that brought me any joy. I actually laughed a little.
I did too.
I laughed, and even on Twitter, a bunch of people are writing. I'm like, relax, man, no big deal. Yeah. Give them a break. They paid $1,500, $2,000 for that seat. You know what? Let them enjoy themselves. They're gonna take an L. They're going home with a sweep. The Yankees wound up winning the game. Look, it was an out. He caught the ball. I've never really seen anyone really.
They gave him the out.
I know. Well, that was easy. It was an out. He caught it. Don't ever touch an athlete's glove, arm, head, anything. Get your freaking hands off the athlete. You want to try to steal the ball? You want to do a Bartman? That's one
it's
thing.
The reverse Bartman.
Poor Bartman.
It's the reverse Bartman.
Those two got free beers in New York for life, though. Let's talk about it. They may never be back in Yankee Stadium, but it was worth it.
And if the Yankees win the series, they're heroes.
If
they come back and pull off the impossible, they are heroes.
Was that
forever.
the moment to turn the tide, KG?
Yeah, I don't
the
think so.
momentum swing?
I don't think so. I called this from the beginning a gentleman's sweep for the Yankees. They just don't have enough horses, especially in the pitching department. But
you're probably right, Bert.
You're really calling Yankees gentlemen?
Yeah,
no, a gentleman's sweep is 5.
My apologies.
Gentleman's sweep is 5.
Yeah, but there's nothing gentleman about the Yankees at this point after that play.
It's like what the Pistons did to the Lakers in 2004. That's a gentleman's sweep.
They gentlemanly got swept. So Game 5 tonight.
Yes, sir.
Tom Masway, what are your thoughts? What do you think about tonight? They ride a little bit of momentum or
Definitely.
Okay.
Yankees win this game tonight.
Too much money for them not to.
Just pitch around Freddie Freeman. That's all.
Or how about you beam him? Because that's the only way you're going to stop
No, you're not beating him. But pitch around. You want to beat anyone, bean Tommy Edman.
He's such a nice guy. Matt, have you ever seen a World? I mean, you've seen a lot of World Series, man. Have you ever
Since
seen?
1970.
100%. Have you seen a World Series like this in terms of where one individual where it's just so effortless up at bat? I mean, I know you've seen Reggie Jackson, Mr. October.
Albert Pujols was amazing for the Cardinals back in the
machine.
not too many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. Barry Bonds was amazing in that 7-game loss against the Angels. I mean, he either walked him or he's hitting a home run. It was either that. He was never out in that series, I don't think. But Freddie Freeman, I've never seen a guy in such a groove. And he's a great player. You got to love him. He went through all of that pain with his family this year. They almost lost their son, Max, this year to a virus. If he wasn't playing for the Dodgers, I'd be so happy for him. I hated when he signed with the Dodgers. I hated it because I loved the guy.
Yeah, look, Cole and Flaherty take the mound tonight. 8:08 is your start time, so we'll see what happens with that. I personally think the Yankees are going to continue to ride that momentum. Aaron Judge, Caesar Sportsbook, go to it. Bet the home run because he will have one. On a more serious note, let's switch to the Lions for a second. So much made about Jamison Williams and the drug test or whatever was going on with that, the suspension of 2 games. Well, now JAMO seems to be in some more trouble, some more hot water. And Anson Wells, I go to you. Do we have the statement? Here's the statement, Woodward Sport.
Can you read it, Bray? Or you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, I got it right now. Detroit Lions statement. This is regarding the incident, and it is from WXYZ Detroit. Jameson made us aware immediately that he is a passenger in a routine traffic stop on October 8th. We discussed the incident with him and kept the league informed of what we knew. We understand he was released without incident or citation. It is now our understanding that the Detroit Police Department is revisiting the matter. Jameson has hired an attorney, and we will not be commenting any further out of respect for the legal process. Maz, let me start with you.
Yeah.
What do you make of this situation?
All right, here's the scoop. This kid, we know he's a good kid.
Yeah.
He can smile, could light up a room. We know he's super talented. Probably the fastest guy in the NFL, at least one of them. Here's the problem. He's careless. He doesn't know or follow the rules. Last year, look, you can gamble. Just don't do it here. Read the rules. You can take vitamin supplements. Just make sure that you're covered here on the paper that Braylon's been talking about. There's 17 sheets of banned substances. Make sure you're not taking something on the sheet. You can carry a gun if it belongs to you, if you're able to carry it, if you have a license, if you registered it. Yeah. But don't do dumb things. He's doing dumb kid-like things. He's like a dumb teenager. And he'll grow up. Dan Campbell backs him. Dan Campbell backs this kid. Do you have that statement, Pete? Danny Rogers put it out today, what Dan Campbell said about this kid?
Yes, I do.
All right. Listen, they're going to back this kid. He's not going anywhere. I know I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Why don't you put this guy in a deal for Max Crosby? Because I thought maybe you'd be able to get a guy like Max Crosby if you included a Jamison Williams. Bray, you wanted to check that out? Read that, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me read that. I wanted to let you get a chance to finish your thought, Tom. The kid's been, this is coming from Danny Rogers. In quotes, the kid has been truthful with us. This is coming from Dan Campbell on Jamison Williams News. It certainly doesn't look good. It's really all decision-making for him. He's going to learn from this and grow from it. I still think there's been a lot of growth from this player. #Lions. Before I throw it over to you, Anson Wells, I know we had conversations about Jameson last week, so this is a good point to come back to. He's bored. Man, you know what happens in this league? And I'm not making an excuse. I'm simply telling you exactly what it is. And this is why when Anson says what he's going to say, one of the big things I said last week is you got to get a family member around. You got to get that uncle. Or you got to get a big brother. Or you have to move your parents in. But what happens a lot of times in young individuals, I've been there. Maz, I was 22 years old. I'm in Cleveland. Practice is from 8 to 8:30. See, now Jameson is in a groove where he understands the offense. He knows his part. He's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. Now there's no extra work to be doing. So now when he's not playing video games because he knows he's a gamer, he's bored.
Yeah.
Like he's practicing legitimately. He's at the facility from about 8 a.m. till about 2:45. You know how much time there is to just do things and engage in extracurricular that doesn't involve anything that you should be doing. So I think right now he's in the board space, and you got to get the right people around him. You look at gambling, you look at guns, you look at Anson talking about him outside getting food at 12:30 in the morning, and it's not necessarily the right spots. It's a person that's bored. I've been there. I know what it is. When you're bored, sometimes you put yourself in bad spots, and it seems like his boredom has put him in a bad spot.
Listen, before you go to Anson, he went on when the police pulled him over. He's like, listen, man, I'm Jameson Williams. I play for the Lions. Why are you carrying all these guns? He's got multiple guns. Why are you carrying all these guns?
It was two.
And he's like, hey, man, I live in Detroit. What do you expect? That's a mistake. That's a mistake. And if you go back to The Receiver on Netflix.
What's the mistake? What part is the mistake?
Saying I live in Detroit. I mean, I'm from Detroit. You're not. You're not. You're a number one freaking draft pick. You're an athlete. You don't have to go down into the hood. You do not have to do that. And if you remember Receiver on Netflix, Justin Jefferson.
You don't have to be in the hood.
Listen to me. Justin Jefferson could live in any mansion he wants. He picks a townhouse, and his freaking parents are there with him.
Suburbs.
So, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's doing the wrong things. That's a dumb thing. Last year, when Chauncey Gardner was here, what did he say? Hey, me and JAMO are the only true what? What did he say?
Real ones.
What the only true?
Real ones.
That lean into
real
the
ones.
culture.
Right.
Like,
But why? But why? Why are you doing that?
Man, it's because it makes you understand the city more, which makes you understand the team more, which makes you have love for the city more. Look, and I'm not saying he's running out here doing the best things, but he's not running into the. I don't know. Like, it is Detroit.
He's got multiple guns.
But you can be in good.
Was one gun, man.
You can be in good places in Detroit and somebody run up on you. I grew up here. I'm born and raised here. I also came back with money and played in the league, and I know you can go in places in Detroit and not have to worry about that. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be in the hood per se. Go ahead, Anson.
I gotta say something here. John Hughes put out a great question. How many players have been shot this year? Because I think it's 2, right?
Yeah.
So-
what's the name from?
Well, Pearsall and somebody just recently, but
Tank Dell got shot in the offseason.
yeah.
Josh Reynolds was in an incident too.
Yeah, just like a week ago, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. I would love to rewind to last week because y'all stances have softened. I wasn't saying this kid's a bad kid, all right? He does all the things right on the field. He seems like a great guy on camera. Maz talked about that smile, all right? Wow. The fact of the matter is, I grew up in the country. I spent half my life as a country boy. I spent the last half in the ghetto, in Detroit, messing around, all right? That's how you and I met. You and I were doing stuff we shouldn't have been doing.
Cap. That's cap.
Hey, you better say that. Anyway, flat out, what I'm saying is this: is you can hang out when you're bored with 2 different sets of people.
Yeah.
And you can go down to Coney on 6 Mile at 12:30 at night, and I'll tell you what, KG, you best be strapped. All right, this is Detroit. We're not being stupid, but boredom or not, at one point when you were younger, you chose to spend that time with people you maybe shouldn't have. As you got older and you were fortunate to have that strong family around you, you realized this is who you should be spending time with. Now listen, this is a kid who has established a pattern of behavior that is concerning. If this guy was a 4th-round pick, if this guy didn't have all the talent on the field, might not even be on the squad anymore, all right? So this guy has not been paying attention to details. You understand that it's illegal to gamble. Yeah. You didn't understand the details. You understand there's this long list of banned substances. You didn't pay attention to the details of registering your whatever it was. Right. And now you've got another situation where maybe it's not details, but listen, you have an opportunity to go and hang out with some people and play Topgolf. Or you can go hit up the Coney at 12:30 where you probably should be strapped. So again, I am not indicting this kid as a bad human being. I think quite the opposite.
Here's a better question.
But he's young and he's not surrounded by the right people. And the bigger question is this: how many more mistakes do the Lions give JAMO? 1, 2?
the better question is, what the hell were the police doing with all this extra stuff? Like, come on, you got to take care of the players. I'm not speaking from a player's point of view. What has Jameson done?
Bro, that cop was so cool, and it was only because it was JAMO. If that's any other traffic stop in Detroit, that doesn't go so nice.
About it? What was done at the traffic stop?
We know about it because the camera, the body cam footage was dug up after Channel 7 decided to come up with some muckraking
But there was
garbage.
nothing done. Meanwhile, it was reported. So now people are talking about something that has no merit as of now.
Agreed.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. I'm not defending him because he's a player. I'm defending because he's a civilian.
Sensationalism, man. They needed a story.
I feel you on that, but that shouldn't be the judge. Until someone says, oh, he had some illegal gun, he had some illegal heat, or he had the guns in an illegal position where it wasn't one move away. If he had everything according to how
registered without a CPL. More details that he missed because of the people that he's around.
It's his brother. And there was one gun. I do understand. I'm not trying to absolve him of all wrongdoing. He shouldn't have had the gun on him without a CPL. But it was a registered weapon. It was registered in the state of Missouri, which is a open carry state, which might lead to the fact
details, KG. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I don't disagree with you on that point. But this happened before the Dallas Cowboy game. He told the Lions immediately, so they knew about this. Which, if you connect the dots, maybe the 2-game suspension, maybe that's another thing. But he didn't. The only thing he did wrong was the CPL. Like traveling with his brother, what's wrong with that?
Do me this favor. Let's stop sitting here and approaching this situation of this 22-year-old like he's 41, like he's 47, like he's Maz's age. At the end of the day, he's still 46. He's still a kid. This guy is still a kid at 22.
All the more reason to surround him.
Understand?
Like, don't you think that this week?
Understood.
But who's a better person than your brother?
But we don't know his family. So his brother's there.
Yeah, like
obviously his brother's there. He's the one that was chosen, so we don't know the rest of his family. So I'm just saying, let's not be overly critical of a 22-year-old.
And I'm not being overly critical, but
you know what?
But we got a bunch of people here at the network saying it's a nothing burger, and I just don't think that it is. No, it's not, because it is a catalyst for change in the organization. They have to figure out how to surround him with the right people. And second point, what happens the next time where the details are missed? It's a nothing burger, not a major infraction, but it's continuing a pattern of behavior. So again, I don't want to lose this kid. There's all kinds of fans even in the chat talking about how they won't extend him now because of this kind of stuff. So it's not a nothing burger, because it has to be discussed internally, and a change needs to be made.
But guess what? If it was a big problem, he wouldn't be on this team. This regime, they would not put up.
And I don't think anything that's happened. I mean, you got an injury, you got weird gambling, you got a two-game suspension. You've got a very clean, reported situation. But I'm telling you, like a week ago when we had this conversation, we didn't think this was coming up just a week later.
We did not.
Let me say this. Look, I appreciate this conversation. Everybody has made valid points on all sides. Like, I appreciate what you said in terms of, in terms of everyone here thinks it's a nothing burger. This is indeed not a nothing burger. It is a pattern of behavior, and look, it's light behavior. But how many light situations can you have? So I definitely agree with you there. My biggest thing was I don't want to approach Jameson Williams like he's 42 years old. It's easy for that. So I think we've kind of leveled it out. There's some truth on both sides. The Lions have to help. He is your superstar. He's a guy that you see you can make change with. I saw the same situation. Now, LeBron James is much different. But when I was in Cleveland, Gloria James was a problem. Gloria James was a problem. She was a problem to the refs.
Kind of forgot about that.
She was a problem to the fans. Yep. She was a problem to the organization. You remember on national TV on Christmas, LeBron James told his mama in front of everybody, "Shut the F up." Yeah. Don't we all remember that?
Yeah.
The Cleveland Cavaliers organization found a way to make them happy so that they can have some success. Now it's different, but the organization took the chance. It was like, look, we'll put you here, we'll do this. So that's why I'm saying I agree with you there. There's got to be something Lions can do to help them along and give them some.
And I think they will. This guy's way too important. Yeah. And as Maz has come back time and time again, he is a good guy.
Yeah, 100%.
This is details.
And you see the team lobbying for him. We got to get to a commercial break. We do have to pay some bills. But you do see Dan Campbell and the team's lobbying for him. Dan Miller's also on the line. So Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential, 50 locations in metropolitan Detroit. It's the gym for you. It's home of the stress-free and judgment-free zone. Any membership that you sign up with, it gets you access to a trainer so you can get in shape, because your fitness is essential. The key thing is always remember that they have fitness that fits into your budget. KG, tell us about 1800.
Hey, 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. And of course, it's the official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties, and post-game show. Join 1800 in Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate those wins with smooth 1800 tequila and the 1800 girls that'll be there this Sunday. Proud sponsor of your and our Detroit Lions. 1800 tequila. Please drink responsibly.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Les Stanford Chevrolet. You know what happens when you've been running an amazing business for over 5 decades? You expand and you offer more of your amazing products to your customers. This is exactly what Les Stanford has done by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC that offers the same great service that customers have come to know for over 50 years. You can find them on Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
All right, now it's time to welcome in Dan Miller. He is the voice of the Detroit Lions on radio and also Fox 2 sports director, and he is our favorite guy to interview on Wednesday. Don't tell anybody else we told you that, Dan. What's going on, buddy?
I got you back. Hey, I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Hold on, Dan. We can't hear you.
You
a
got
second.
me?
Hold on 1 second, please.
All right.
You got everything up?
Let me figure this.
Okay.
You got me now?
We can't hear him.
Yeah, just have him call.
Have him call Tommy because
Yeah, just have him call.
Hey, Dan, we're going to give you a holler on the phone, my friend. I'm so sorry. All right.
Try
Dan Miller
that.
will join us in just a second. Go ahead, Bray.
Yeah, let's we'll wait. Kenny, let us know when's going.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, this is how you get it started. But yeah, that's we'll probably start with the same thing with Dan Miller. You know, getting back into the JAMO situation, trying to see how it is. What is the patience that the Detroit Lions want to have with Dan? And with Jamison, and also, you know, what will this mean in the future for JAMO Anson?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question and a conversation that everybody in Detroit's having right now if they care about the Lions. But I think internally is where everything hinges. You know, I think, again, like we've all talked about, I think that the Lions know that this is a good kid. This is a huge piece of this team this year as well as our future. And we aren't talking about egregious errors. We aren't talking about hurting people or hurting himself. We're just talking about details that have been skipped and a possibility that maybe he needs to find a way to cure his boredom elsewhere, Bray.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and I think it will work out for him. You know, Dan Campbell, you guys got to wrap him in the players and wrap him in the love that they already have, that support.
Well said.
Just get more and more. I think him And Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm not surrendering all season to be a leader for that team. So we'll see what happens with that. I want to ask Dan when we finally get Dan on. Just think about the Packers game that's coming up. The Packers were the team that the Lions had circled pretty much, I think, on this schedule. You talk about a team that beat them last time they played and it wasn't even close.
They won 3 of the last 4 halves.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about the Green Bay Packers, it seems like they're starting to pick up some momentum and some speed. What does a win over the Green Bay Packers look like for the Detroit Lions?
In terms of gameplay or what it means afterwards?
What does it mean afterwards?
What it means afterwards is we are solidified as not only the leaders of the North, the kings of the North, but also we are the number 1 team in the NFC, no question. Obviously, San Francisco stumbled out of the gates, but there's a lot of people that think that Green Bay is on our level. And I can't say that they're far off. That's a hell of a defense. You have so many options on offense, you never really know where it goes. But at the end of the day, I think that it really comes down to their quarterback play. We've seen Love kind of be a little uneven this year, and we've also seen him take some injuries. So, we come out of this win and we are 7-1. Hands down, I think that this is the best Lions team that we've ever seen. Obviously, none of us were around in 57 to really be watching them, but it puts the NFL on notice.
KG, for you, all season when we've been picking games, we picked the Detroit Lions, whether it was the Yeah, I got you. So I asked you the same question then, Pete. Detroit Lions all year, we've been feeling pretty confident about the teams that they're playing. Whether it was the Vikings, we were confident about that. The Titans, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Yep.
How excited are you about? Do we have? Yeah, we are. All right, cool. Let's get Dan Miller in. D, you're in.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
I apologize about the inconvenience. Welcome. We appreciate you having you on, and thank you for being patient with us. I won't waste any more of your time, that is. Jameson Williams, you see what came down, the statement that's come out from the Detroit Lions. Where are we with Jameson Williams, and what are we thinking about this being another thing or another blip that has happened to this young man that we see taking so many tremendous strides?
Yeah, no, and I think I'll go back to what I said last week, which is that I have seen, him grow up a lot. I have seen him making better decisions. I have seen him conducting himself more as a professional football player in Allen Park. I think we still don't know what he took to trigger the suspension, so it's difficult for me to comment on that. The situation, driving around with guns, look, get your license, get it to the point where everything is buttoned up if you're going to have something like that. I do think that there's room here to say, yes, he has grown up. Yes, he is more of a professional. But, yeah, he needs to also make better decisions at times. And I think both things can be true. I think you can say that somebody's made strides, but that they have to continue to make strides to complete the whole picture so that these things don't keep cropping up. And again, I wish I had more information on what triggered the 2-game suspension. This situation with the gun, based on what I've seen, what I've read, if he did not have a permit to be carrying that, then that appears to be problematic, and problematic in the way that he could have just taken care of it and had the permit that it appears like, if I'm reading the story correctly, his brother had to carry a gun. So it's about decisions. It's about making the right decisions, and it's about, continuing to make strides to, be the kind of person that this team can have faith in and that the team can trust, which obviously they're clearly working to try to do.
In a situation like this, Dan, does it make you leery of extending an individual like Jameson Williams, even though it seems like he's making those strides? Also, it just seems like things just continue to happen, like you said. Like, are you nervous about extending him at this point?
Yeah, your talent doesn't concern me, but your decision making, I think, if you're going to invest the kind of money that you would need to invest to lock up a Jameson Williams. And look, we don't know what the complete picture of this year is going to be. You're talking about somebody that coming into the season hadn't even caught 25 passes in the NFL. So I don't even know what that extension looks like. But I think it's fair to say, regardless of what the numbers are and regardless of what it is, you want to know that the person that you are committing to through a contract is going to be making a series of good decisions. You can say that you've seen growth. You can say that he's improved, significantly from the day he walked in the door. But I'll go back to what I said before. You want the complete picture, and that is making good decisions so that these things stop coming up. And that would go for any contract you're signing with any player. Look, do players that have incredible talent and speed and ability like JAMO get more in the way of breaks and people saying, yeah, well, we'll give him a little leeway here? There's no doubt about it. But I think enough has come up now that before you were to commit to something like that, you'd want to see a series of good decisions that followed up what we have here, which appears to be two situations that were certainly avoidable.
Hey, Dan, another week to go before the trade deadline is over. We haven't heard anything yet. I know Dan had some fun with Dave Burkett and the guys the other day about who they're going to trade with, who they bring it up. You saw Dan, how giddy he was. What's your thought going up? We got a week left to go. Do you see one guy coming, two guys coming, or are we going to do the practice squad route?
I mean, look, in my mind, at least one. I do think they'll make a move. I don't know what it will be. I don't know what level it will be. You know, you can. I don't think it'll be the multi-first round guy, but maybe it's the Zadarius Smith that's a little bit below that. The part of this that we don't have the complete picture on is who are the teams they're talking to, and how many other teams are they talking to, and clearly they're going to be trying to get a bidding war going here. But I do believe that the Lions understand the urgency with their pass rush and just how good this football team is. This is a Super Bowl team, potentially. But it is less of one if you cannot pressure the passer or find some way to get a consistent rush. Because even in that game this past weekend, look, there were times where it felt like Rudolph just had too much time. And if you have a more accomplished quarterback, that's really going to hurt you. And it hurts you at times with Sam Darnold. And the quarterbacks only get better as you move through the season to the playoffs and get into that situation. So I still believe they will make a move. I don't base that on anything other than I believe they understand the urgency. I believe they understand the need. And I believe they understand the potential of this team and how you might be impacting the potential of this team if you don't add something to it.
You saw them, you see every single game. You call in every single game. It was a laugher against Dallas, minus the Hutchinson, and it was a laugher against Tennessee. I know they're one of the lesser teams, but that offense could do whatever the hell they want at any time. And not only that, the special teams was better than I've ever seen it in the past. Did you see anything on the defense? And I know our secondary has been really good, but do you think they can continue moving forward? Now you start playing the Packers, you got the Texans after that. Can they play teams like that and still, do they have to get in a shootout to win those games?
You know, that's a good question, because I think that certainly comes to mind. If quarterbacks are going to have time to throw, that could be problematic. I do think that secondary is playing at an extremely high level, which I think makes it more enticing to have an accomplished pass rush, because you have ball hawks back there that are going to make plays on the football. If you get a quarterback that's rushed a little bit and needs to throw the ball before they're comfortable, which is ultimately what you're trying to do with a rush, and that's where you can get a mistake. So, yeah, I don't think the defense is as good, clearly, without the type of pass rush they had with Hutch. Now, they're probably not going to get back to that because you're not going to find Hutch. But there is a level between where they are now, where you are with Hutch, and what you might be if you can add something to it. And, you know, I don't know if that means every game is a shootout, because Aaron Glenn has proven that he can manufacture some things. But, Maz, what I will say is that's a tough way to live when you have to try to manufacture a pass rush every week. And look, there have been a lot of years where Aaron Glenn didn't have the talent on that defense to do what he wanted to do. I mean, years where they were pulling in corners off the streets and he had to try to figure that out. He's got more talent now than he's ever had, but not having that consistent pass rush is an issue. But I wouldn't go so far as to say they're, you know, going to give up 35 a week or something like that against teams. You're just going to have to we're going to find out together what it looks like if they don't do something. But, again, I still, in my mind, I believe that they are working the phones. Dan Campbell has said that. I'm not breaking any news there, that they are working the phones. They're trying to come up with something. Just what level that is and whether or not it makes sense is what ultimately will dictate.
Listen, as a dummy football fan, we all sit there and we think we know what we're talking about. You know me with free agents and trades, but you see a team like the Chiefs who have won multiple Super Bowls, going for their third straight again, and going out and getting those players. Sure, they're not going to be the players they're probably going to hold on to after next year because, let's face it, you trade a 5th or 6th round pick when you're the Chiefs, and right now you trade a 5th or 6th round pick if you're the Lions. Those players next year are going to have a hard time making this squad. But if you can get a guy now to help you continue on that roll to the Super Bowl, why don't you do it? I mean, the Chiefs do it. Why can't we do it?
Well, they haven't not done it yet. They just haven't done it yet. It doesn't mean they won't. So, I mean, I'm not here questioning why they won't do it if we don't know that they won't. So that still may happen. And look, I think it goes both ways. There certainly has to be some flexibility here when you talk about going out and trading for another player. But let's also give them credit for this, that they have built this thing to the point where they're a Super Bowl contender and basically done it sticking to their guns, which is not going out and signing huge high-priced free agents, not going out and swinging massive trades that cost you a lot of capital and might gum up your salary cap. They've done it by drafting and developing. So I think you have to give them some credit that they've been disciplined to this point. But I do think also that now you can say, okay, there needs to be a little bit of flexibility in that discipline when you find yourself in need of making a move, which I think they are at this point, because you had an injury, somebody went down, and you need to find a way to help improve a significant phase of your team. But I think the fact that they haven't done a lot of what Kansas City did to this point, I give them credit for that. I think they had a vision of how they wanted to build this team, and I think that has allowed them to get where they are with their salary cap in very good shape and some huge contracts that are going to be coming up here and some really tough decisions that are going to be coming up here with young players. But again, I think there is room within that for flexibility. You can say, well done on getting to this point, but there also comes a point where sometimes you have to reassess how you're doing business because you find yourself in a situation that is not where you anticipated being. The potential for winning it all is there, but maybe that potential isn't as great unless you can find just a little something that gives you juice on third down when you're trying to get after a passer.
I completely agree with you, Dan. 6 more days of trade speculation. Detroit's going to go crazy, but I want to switch gears into Green Bay. Obviously, this is a team who's in second in the NFC. We were just talking about them, what a win over Green Bay would mean. I actually want to skip past them and look at the rest of the NFC because the NFC East is interesting. The NFC West is up for grabs. Beyond the Packers, give me the 2 teams that you're most worried about in the NFC right now.
Well, I think Washington is interesting. I think, they're obviously winning football games. They have a winning formula going there. Sometimes it doesn't matter that you're young or that you have a young quarterback, and what he's doing right now is pretty incredible. I mean, they pulled one out of their sock last week against Chicago, which isn't necessarily a great way to live. I think the NFC right now is kind of wide open just because of the injuries that we've seen to San Francisco. Dallas struggling to play right now. I mean, I'm waiting for the NFC to kind of show itself. And right now, I think you could look at Green Bay, you could look at Minnesota, you could look at Detroit and say they're as good as anybody in the NFC. But I do think there's some other teams that potentially we're going to see get on a roll here and, identify themselves as teams that have to be reckoned with in the NFC. The one seeing San Francisco kind of go down with the injuries, I think that's been somewhat significant in terms of a team that you would look at. Look, Philadelphia isn't going anywhere. That's a really good football team. And I think Atlanta's got a chance to kind of find its stride here and get going. And I would say outside of that, does San Francisco get healthy? I don't really see anybody else in the West that I'm necessarily worried about. So I would say, and I'm just yanked up the standings here, to me It's Atlanta, it's San Francisco, it's everybody in the North that you got to deal with. And then it's Washington and Philadelphia, and we'll see if Dallas can recover. But they just appear to be a team that has a lot of holes right now.
Hey, Dan, last question, then we're going to let you go. And we appreciate your patience yet again with our technical difficulties. You've been around those guys. You're in the locker room to a certain extent. You're talking to those guys. You're walking on the plane, the bus with those guys. You're around. What's the energy like for the Detroit Lions right now? Like, what's that player energy like? Like, what are their thoughts? What are their thoughts on where they are right now? I'm sure you have a sense of that.
I think, Braylon, it's just rock steady. I don't think this team – I don't think they get too high. I don't think they get too low. I think their attitude is just, we've talked about this before. It's one of the crazy things that I've learned to love about the NFL. It's 17 one-week lifetimes during the regular season. And when they got to Monday, they turned the page from Tennessee and started looking at Green Bay. And the only thing they're thinking about is Green Bay right now. They're not thinking about a playoff game in January or getting to the Super Bowl. They're thinking about being the best that they can be this week. And it sounds cliche, and it is cliche because it's what coaches talk about all the time, but it really is where they're at. And I think that goes to the head coach, who every single week seems to have his guys ready to play. And if it's not all three phases, he'll find two that are working, and that'll be a way to win. So I think this is a team that knows what it means to win now. I think they've done enough of it that they know how to approach it. I just think that it's business. And I think that this team just finds a way each week to prepare as best they can. I think they have an outstanding coaching staff, which has been proven, and that coaching staff lets them hit the field on Sunday, prepared and ready to go. But emotionally, I think it's just business. I really don't think it's anything other than that. I think that's exactly the way that you want it to be. You're just attacking the next thing that's in front of you, and anything else that you're thinking about just gets in the way.
Emotionally, it's just business. That's why he's the best. He is Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions radio. We appreciate you for tuning in another Wednesday. Thanks so much, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
We appreciate you.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Gotta love that guy. Appreciate him for staying and hanging on, man. But yeah, like he said, you saw last week. I think last week was a good test and good example to see how would they respond when they're playing a team. We know the Titans aren't good. The Titans are not a good football team. They play with their backup quarterback, had a little success. But how are the Lions going to play when they know they can beat this team? They know they can dominate this team. Are they going to play down to the level of competition? Because I think that's what you're seeing out of Ravens. The Ravens are playing down to the level of their competition. It's like playing in the CCRB. Anson, you know how many times me and the squad are going there in the spring, once winter training is over with, once spring ball is over with, and we hoop at the CCRB, and we will lose to scrubs. Like 5 guys, you're like, man, how these guys beat you? Because you go in there, you start doing silly things, you start trying to throw alley-oops, you start trying to shoot from half court way before Steph Curry, and then you look up and you lost. That's not what they do. They got focused. Once they figured out, all right, let's settle into this game plan. You look on offense, they dominate. That's the sign of a real team.
Well, the last 2 weeks we've played the team in first, undefeated, and then a team that we were supposed to smoke. We came out and we spotted both teams, basically 2 touchdowns. And to Lions fans,
he scored 90 points in those 2 games,
I know.
By the way.
But the way those games started, if you're a Lions fan for any stretch beyond the last couple of years, those are the games that scare you as a Lions fan. Oh, man, are they going to do this again? But they didn't. They took their foot and stepped on their throats in that Tennessee game. Taking that kind of dominance, it's got to create some serious momentum right when you need it going into this game against the Packers, who, to me, and again, we talked about it, is their direct threat in the NFC.
Hey, this is their second game in conference, in division. So they're 1-0, and they have been dominating the past 2 years plus 1 game. So they've had 3 losses in 2 years, 3. So I'm banking on them to come on out and give the Packers what they deserve. The Packers, you don't even know what they're going to have. Jordan Love, I'll ask you guys, would you rather face a banged-up Jordan Love, or would you rather face Malik Willis now that he's been there a month?
Willis?
I'll go first. I'd rather face Jordan Love. I'd rather face Jordan Love because the reason you said it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we are equipped to face any team, any quarterback. If you get Jordan Love, he's injured, he's hobbled. If you don't get Jordan Love, you're going against I guess you can say a rookie quarterback. in Malik Willis. So
I love Lion fans. Like, you guys never give the answer. It's always I'm like, I ain't nothing bothers me. I ain't scared of nobody.
But this is legitimate. They the best team in the NFL. Who are you scared of?
It's not about being scared. It's about who would you rather face. I've been on teams where we were much better than the other team, but there was a certain quarterback that I'd rather face than that. Yeah. I'd rather face Jordan Love from the standpoint he's injured. He's injured, and you know what he also does? He throws interceptions. He gives you opportunities. He gives the ball back. So if I'm thinking about it, Malik Willis is not going to do that much. He'll scramble from here to there when you're not ready for it. He'll throw to the tight end. He's going to hand the ball off. It's going to be a much more mundane game. I don't think you get turnovers out of Malik. An injured Jordan Love, who's trying to show you who he is, he already turns the ball over. Give me Jordan Love. I think it helps the Lions defense.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have to disagree.
Okay.
Maybe last year's Lions team, I'd be worried about Malik Willis. We had a hard time covering, speedy wide receivers. Obviously, without Hutch, without Davenport, we're not getting to the quarterback. But this is not a guy that really plays downfield. We have such speed in our linebacking core right now that
Is it healthy? Is the linebacking core healthy?
I mean, we got some good news on Rodrigo, but I think Rodrigo in or out doesn't really.
He's out this week.
Okay, I don't think that it necessarily changes things. Yeah. To me, with the host of wide receivers and Tucker Kraft that you have in that passing game, if Love is really hobbled, then sure. But if Love is just 85, 90%, he's got the ability to make big plays with big play receivers, a big play tight end, and a running game to support it. Like you said, it's going to be a mundane game if you have. If you have Justin, or not Justin Fields, I'm sorry, but if you got Malik Willis in there. And I think that's a game that the Lions can really handle and take complete advantage of. With a guy like Jordan Love, sure, we could get up and we could smoke him, but at the same time, that's a team that, like we saw in the first game last year, could just put together a couple of big plays in the second half, even in the first half. Give me Malik Willis all day long. There's a reason why he's on his second, third team so far,
You know who's tied for the league in interceptions with Patrick Mahomes? Is Jordan Love with 9 interceptions already through 7 games.
He's had one in every game.
Pat Mahomes is undefeated, though.
100%, but we ain't talking about Pat Mahomes. We're talking
Love's
about
got
Jordan
one
Love.
loss.
9 interceptions. Do you know who's number 2 in the league in terms of touchdowns off of interceptions? It's the Detroit Lions.
Yes, sir.
It's
11 straight games with a takeover.
It's a match made in heaven. I would take Jordan Love.
I think they beat either quarterback, but I'll take Malik Willis, please.
Hey, they owe the Packers for that Thanksgiving thrashing that they got. It was a thrashing.
And we have taken over Lambeau the last couple of times we went. So
yeah, I think we won 2 in a row at Lambeau.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, excited to see what this game is going to do. Like you said, man, those wide receivers, they're stacked. And Maz has been talking about the wide receivers in Green Bay for the last 2 years, and I think you're now finally saying what he was talking about. Yeah. Dobbs is coming to play. Jaden Reed is taking over for those guys. It's going to be an interesting game. Defense plays well, too. Sean Gary, he's a callous. He's a monster up there.
That's what's carried him so far.
I wish he was like that.
Their defense is up and down strong, man.
Yeah. Xavier McKinney in the back.
He's number 1 safety in the league. He's number 2 safety in the league behind, obviously, Brent.
How do you let him go if you're the Giants? I just don't get that.
There's very few teams that would be favored over Green Bay, and the Lions are one of them.
By 3.5.
By a touchdown, baby. Let's go.
What say you, Pete? You're quiet over there. What you got to say about this?
I'm working on a few things, Bray.
Okay.
Sorry, my friend.
I'll leave Pete alone. Let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break. Let's reset as we get to the top of the hour, and we'll talk a little bit of college football. We got intern Alex coming in as well, so let's do that. A big win for the University of Michigan Wolverines. He'll come in and he'll tell you how it happened. But first, let's get a message from Dr. Jeffrey Pierce.
All right, guys. Attention, sports fans. You know it. You do not want to miss our injury expert. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join him every Tuesday on Big D Energy. He's with us every Thursday. He's got the special sauce for you, keep you in the game and playing at your best. Dr. Jeff Pierce, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call him 248-426-9944. And if you ever wanted to volunteer, you didn't know where to start, you got to start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com. You sign up for shifts. You'll have the option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site that's out in front of a store. I think we're going to do it in December, guys. We're going to be in front of the Kroger across the street. Virtual bell ringers. You could sign up right now and do it right from home, right from the comforts of your own home. The real deal, what starts traditionally Friday, November 7th, runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. For volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah.
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at WoodwardSports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling in a financial pinch? Well, Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. $5,000, guys, right off the top. Call Mark White & Associates today, 248-290-8242. Hit him up online as well, markwhitesells.com. One more time on that number, it's 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
It's football season, so it's time for wings, but there's a certain type of wing you need to look for, and that's Soroki's. They got the new signature wings featured by the lemon pepper wings. They are the best. 7 new wings for you. You can try these out. They're tried and true. Crispy chicken is what they do best, though, so don't forget about that, as well as pizza. They still got the sweet sides as well as fresh salads. Soroki's is expanding their menu, so you should give it a chance and pop up on them one time. Don't forget about the honey biscuits when you go. Real fan favorites, that's Soroki's.
It is Halloween all week at Lady Jane's, so that makes it super wicked awesome. Come in 7 days a week. They accept walk-ins. They've got locations all around Metro Detroit and all around the country. You can take advantage right now of a $20 haircut special that includes a scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment from one of these amazing, talented stylists here who happen to be dressed all as cowgirls today. So just scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men. And once again, they're open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Gotta love those cowgirls during Halloween. Today feels like 2009 when you look at the NBA standings. You know, Cleveland's at the top.
Right.
The Boston Celtics are 2, and then the Orlando Magic are sitting at 3. Paulo Banchero, every time I watch these number one players play, it just pisses me off. And you know why. It's the positioning that the Detroit Pistons pick in the draft. All you need is one of these superstar players that want people to come around. I watched this man drop 50, 13, and 9 last night.
Cold.
Meanwhile, when the Pistons, when it's their turn to pick number one, never mind. The Pistons are a better team, so let me not harp too much. Let me know when we got our intern out.
Oh, he's on now.
On the phone. All right, cool. Let's waste no time. Let's bring in the Wolverine Wednesdays with Skinny Butcher featuring my guy, intern Alex. What's up, Alex?
How are you guys doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
Big win for the squad, man.
Yeah, talk about an absolute tipping point win for Michigan. That was a game that, if they lost, this season could have gone in a full-down meltdown mode, and you could just tell, especially in the post-game press conference and everything, how big and how much that game really meant for the team. And it gives them a good confidence boost going forward, which I think will be great.
Definitely a sigh of relief for the University of Michigan. Look, I said all week Michigan had to win this game. It's already a disappointing season, but if they would have lost to this Michigan State team, it just makes it that much worse. What did they do different, if anything? Because to me, going into this game, Michigan State was a better team, but Michigan State didn't necessarily look like the better team on Saturday night.
Yeah, first off, Michigan played by far and away its cleanest game of the season with no sacks, no turnovers or penalties.
Zero turnovers.
And they only allowed one pressure on all the dropbacks they had. Yeah. So absolute great game from Michigan in that regard. They stayed out of their own way for once. And then also we finally got to see, after weeks of the fan base calling for it, we saw some creativity on the offensive side of the ball. Got to see some absolute great trick plays. Donovan Edwards, with his passing touchdown, still remains the highest rated passer in the history of Michigan football, which is a fun trivia fact for anyone there. And then also, I feel like there's been a change in mentality for this team. And I'd like to hear your take about this, Braylon, as a former player. But after the Oregon game, Colson Loveland talked about how the goal for the rest of the season was just going out and ruining everyone else's season. And I want to know if you think that coming into the season, the expectations were sky high for this team, and there's just enormous pressure on them to try and repeat for a national championship. Do you think that once those expectations of a national championship is gone, that you've seen this team play a little looser, more confident football?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's something. I hate that we're in this position. I hate that now has to be the goal, but it just is what it is. I think there is. All right, look, we know we're not going to be, top or finish top 12 and get to the playoffs. We know we're not necessarily contending for a national title, but we can get better. We can use these game experiences to get better. You get a win over Michigan State. You don't have any turnovers, which is crazy. Even me as a Michigan fan, I'm like, there's a penalty on every freaking play. But I think you do. You use the rest of the season. I want to springboard and ask you, what does this do for Michigan moving forward in terms of where you think they're at? Do you think this is maybe have some legs, some validity going against Oregon, or you're like, nah, this is still that team that's looking at 8-4,
7-5? That's an interesting question, and I kind of have to separate my Michigan fan hat and my insider hat. The fan in me wants to tell myself Michigan can still run the table and sneak in the playoff at 9-3, but my brain knows that is a pretty unrealistic take. However, I do think we're starting to see this team hit its stride, per se, and it might not have the upper ceiling that last year's team did, but we're not seeing, again, them shoot themselves in the foot anymore. We're playing another great team at home this weekend in Oregon, and I think it's going to look way better than the Texas game. I still expect Oregon to win. I think they are one of the best teams in the country. But I think Michigan isn't going to come out and embarrass itself like it did against Texas. So I think this win was great for the confidence, and we're starting to see them really hit their stride in November. And the Big Ten and national title hopes might be kind of dead, but this team can still carve out a great legacy for itself and finishes strong and pulls out 1 to 3 wins against these Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon teams who are all looking like top 10 college football playoff contenders.
Did you hit your head, Alex, by the way? Are you feeling okay?
I did not, no.
Okay, just checking, kid.
I am, yeah.
All right, buddy.
Alex, congratulations on a big rivalry win. I would just like you to speak to the amazing discipline of Corn and Blue to play a 60-minute game at home without one penalty. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it shows Michigan finally came out and was fully prepared. Especially, it came from some of the weakest spots of the team this year so far. The offensive line against Illinois, they had no semblance of pass protection. It felt like there's an Illinois defensive lineman in the backfield every 2 seconds. And then even a defensive backfield without Will Johnson, with some young players in there, some struggling veterans in Makari Page, they came out and they didn't need to commit any pass interferences or anything. And to also Michigan State's credit, they only committed, I think, one penalty in the game. So it was an extremely disciplined game on both sides of the ball. And I think it just showed this rivalry is two quality head coaches, and I think we're going to have an exciting series for years to come here.
Alex, I got a few here for you. Let's start with Jack Tuttle. Tuttle. Jack had another concussion, and he's calling it quit. He's calling his quarterbacking career over for Jack Tuttle stepping away. What's your take on him?
Good for him for looking out for his health completely. Tua Tagovailoa down in Miami should maybe take note, but I think it's a good call. He really was concussed. He wasn't dressed Saturday at all for the game, and I think it's not really from the Michigan side. I don't think it was ever really in their true best interest to play Tuttle this year. But good for him for looking out for his long-term future and realizing that, hey, that the football career is coming to an end, so let's not do any further damage to your body.
Now, there's some great players on this team. There'll probably be 4 first-round picks from this team. One of them is going to be Will Johnson. The other probably be Colston Loveland. We can go on from there. Colston Loveland last week, he got in a little altercation at the end of the game. NCAA said, no worries. Both teams were at fault, plus they couldn't get a good picture, I guess, of a headbutt. That's what Michigan State was crying. The reason I'm bringing up Will Johnson is there's a chance that he might not play this week again. Now, they've asked Sharon Moore, is he done for the year? Are you shutting him down? Or is he shutting himself down, basically? What's your take on Will Johnson and the rest of this maybe squad that's going to get drafted? Do you think they shut it down themselves eventually?
I really do not, and especially on the Will Johnson front. At the press conference this week, Sharon Moore was asked about it by reporters, and it was probably one of the most enthusiastic no's or answers he's given at a press conference all season long. He just went on to praise how much of a competitor Will Johnson is, how much a leader of the team he is. So I have a hard time believing he's truly shutting it down. And then the rest of the guys, Mason Graham, Colson Loveland, they're still coming out firing every week and playing hard. Okay. And especially with Colson Loveland, I almost feel like he's not a captain because they instituted a rule that that you have to be a senior to be a captain. But the vibe I get is he's pretty much a captain on this team. I feel like he's kind of, especially on the offense side of the ball, I feel like he's a spiritual leader of this team and is really one of the few people who's coming out and telling everyone to bring the fire like he did after that Illinois loss in the postgame presser. So, no, I do not think Michigan's players are going to pack it and everything. Now, for the bowl game, yeah, they'll probably all opt out, as they should. When we're playing, like, Iowa State in the Citrus Bowl or something, or Colorado in the Citrus Bowl, they should watch out for their long-term future. But in the regular season, with as big of a slate we have coming up, no, they will not shut it down.
You mean the Sun Bowl or the Pinstripe Bowl? Never mind. I didn't say that. Anyway, let's go to Bryce Underwood, number 1 quarterback in the country. Everyone wants him. Supposedly, there's now a deal on the table for him from Michigan, and maybe Dave Portnoy might be part of this, that there is, it was all called a post there, that there is an NIL deal waiting for Bryce Underwood from the University of Michigan. What do you tell me about Bryce Underwood and Michigan Wolverines? Can they go hand in hand together?
I 100% think they can. First off, if that NIL package is real, that is a life-changing amount of money for anybody, especially a senior in high school. And then Michigan just showed with J.J. McCarthy, if you're a good enough quarterback, you can come in and play in this pro-style offense and go first round. But whether or not Bryce Underwood comes here, I think this is a sign of a greater and better change for Michigan in that the Michigan mega donor base is finally coming around to the idea of paying players more, especially to lure in the upper tier talent. Because we've seen our players who are already here get paid, but ever since NIL came around, it's felt like the Michigan fan base has been hesitant to pay players. But now they're kind of waking up to the modern state of college football. So even if Bryce doesn't come here, it's a good sign for the long-term future for Michigan. And it's highly encouraging because when NIL got passed, everyone thought that this was going to be the great equalizer for Michigan to be able to finally compete with these Southern teams that have been paying players for years. So I think it's super exciting all around. And if Bryce Underwood comes to Michigan, I would not be surprised at all to see him be the starter under center week 1 next year.
Oh, God, yes.
All right, I got a difficult question on this topic. And I know a lot of you guys in the chat aren't going to like it. But with Michigan with a full slate of full hearing, negotiated resolution, and written record allegations and issues that they're still going through with more future allegations that have been spoken on. Maz, you're a dad. Yeah. Alex, you're not. You're getting this offer for millions of dollars, which I'm sure that there's other comprehensive packages that are being offered from other major universities, LSU being up on top. Is this where you want your child to go at this point in history in the Michigan program? When you've seen all of these problems, you have an asterisk next to your national championship.
Well, you
have a gutted coaching staff, which is going to have to be refueled in this offseason.
You and your asterisk.
It's an asterisk. Do you want to? Is this the best place to send your son to go play football versus an SEC team that has everything together?
They're holier than now.
Hey, take your fandom
like
away for a second.
Take
your fandom away for a second, Baz.
Sure.
I'm asking you as a father. This is not the most.
Of course, I'd want my kid to go here.
It's not jail.
Of course,
it's the University of Michigan.
Fans
you should let Braylon answer that question.
I'm asking all of you guys. I mean, this is not most secure. This isn't
this guy.
This isn't the Wolverines from last year.
No, it's not. But you're too much, man. You're too much. Alex, you can answer that as the kid. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just try to put his positive spin on it. One, you say all that, but Michigan still has put a quarterback in the first round with the quarterback coach who is our current offensive coordinator helping do that. And if you're someone as talented as Bryce Underwood, this NIL package is true, no matter what, you're setting yourself up better long term. You can blow out your ACL or something anywhere, but you can't get this NFL first round pick level money wherever you go. And then second off, as a player who is as talented as Bryce Underwood, not only will he has all the physical tools. Well, if he goes and is healthy in college for 3 years, he will probably be a first-round pick, realistically speaking. When you have that size, build, frame, arm, he's been the number one recruit in the country since being a freshman in high school. He will have a first-round hype and stuff forever, and getting to the league is what is important. And then, additionally, as you guys also said, it's University of Michigan, not jail. All the scandals and stuff are way more overblown and stuff from the outside, where if you look at the Michigan football program, it's still a great place to send your kid. And especially in the case of Bryce Underwood, but he can build his brand and he can be seen almost as like a new age savior of Michigan football, the way J.J. McCarthy was, and just help build his brand and fan base behind it. So it's still a great place for him to go. And he's good enough. He doesn't need to do a ton of developing in college. He's got most of it down already. For him, it's about, can he be a game manager? Can he read the defenses? And I think he'll be able to learn that wherever he goes.
Alex, my apologies that you had to answer that question. Yeah, that's extremely my apologies. You shouldn't have to ask that question, especially from an institution where their coaches sleep with other women while they're married. Right. You know, we shouldn't even
send him to Dr. Bob, baby. Send him to Dr. Bob. He's not playing hard enough in practice.
Can I ask a real question?
Right.
A real question.
You got a doctor going too, pal.
Excuse me, real question. Hey, let's do our job.
We didn't know about it and threatened kids to send him to it for 3 decades.
Yeah, okay.
Anson. It's disgusting.
Can we ask a real question on here? Can we get back to sports, please?
We'll like that.
Penn State, Ohio State, they play this week. Arguably 2 of the 3 best teams in the Big Ten. What do you see in this game? Is Ohio State showing you enough to where you're like, there is something there, and maybe Oregon was a snafu? Or do you think Penn State is a better team and Ohio State are frauds?
The most important factor for this game, first off, is will Drew Aller be healthy this weekend? He left the Wisconsin game early, and in Penn State's press conference on Monday, they said he was a game-time decision, where if he doesn't play, I think Ohio State probably just gets a fairly easy victory. I'm not sure if the Penn State offense will be able to get enough, but if Aller plays, I honestly like the Nittany Lions. This Ohio State team, despite all the hype of how much NIL money they're getting and how much they paid their roster, they have looked pretty disappointing in their last 2 games, both against Oregon and Nebraska. I think part of the Nebraska game was them kind of looking ahead to this next week against Penn State, but they only got 64 rushing yards in that game. And then in the last 2 games, Ohio State is a combined 5 for 22 on third downs on offense. So these problems and them not being sustained drives will be super hard to deal with in such a hostile environment like Penn State. And I just feel like this Ryan Day program overall is starting to crumble a little bit. So I really like the Nittany Lions this week.
I know. It's a battle of the have-not coaches. James Franklin against Ryan Day. Neither one of them really win a big game. So we'll see how that goes. But how about Michigan State against number 13, Indiana, undefeated Hoosiers? We got to see them in a couple of weeks here in Michigan. What do you think out of this game? 7.5 is the spread, by the way.
I mean, the Hoosiers are just a magnificent storyline in college football this year. If they get to 10 wins, that'll be the first time in school history they've ever had a 10-win season. Kurt Signetti is simply a miracle worker for what he's done in turning around that program that quickly. And I think Indiana just comes in and rolls. That offense is one of the best in college football. And one of the weirdest things to say, which I don't think any of us pictured to say before the season or potentially in our lifetime, but Indiana looks like a serious college football playoff contender and could play their way into the Big Ten championship game with how easy their schedule ultimately is. So, one weird alternate universe we're living in. So I like the Hoosiers stay hot, and I think they win this weekend.
How did they turn it around so quickly? Out of nowhere, this guy comes in, and they're unbeaten and looking every bit that good.
It's a crazy thing to do. They came in, implemented a great offensive scheme, and they also got into the quarterback or the portal and found a great quarterback. And Rourke-Sin's gone down. Their backups played well, so they're putting up more points and beating teams in every regard. So, it's a crazy story, and it'll be super interesting to see if they can sustain it for multiple years.
Yeah, Indiana's always been interesting. If you look at over the last 6-7 years, I mean, let's not forget when Michael Penix was there, they were a nickel throw away from beating Ohio State. And I think when they played them, they were 6-1 at the time. They came down to the finale at the end. They beat Michigan throughout that stretch. He always took Michigan to overtime or to the final play. Indiana was it Tom Harmon or Tom was what was it coach that was at the time? Because
Tom Allen.
Allen, there you go. Tom Allen. He preached defense. They had some squads and some players for a time. I think it's finally just all starting to connect.
One quick stat correction: 6 penalties for Michigan State on Saturday, not 1.
Yeah.
My bad.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And there you go. And there it is. Alex, anything for you? What games will you watch? There's not a lot of great games in college football this coming Saturday, but I think there's 2 ranked games and maybe a game or 2. Give us the beat on the game that we should check out.
All right. Yeah. So obviously, most of my attention is going to be dedicated to the Michigan-Oregon game. Unfortunately, that is at 3:30, which kind of hamstrings my viewing window. But part of the sicko in me wants to watch Wisconsin-Iowa at 7:30 on Saturday night. Just a nice classic Big Ten West game.
Okay.
Hopefully low scoring and all that. And then another big one, Pitt-SMU in a surprisingly big ACC game for the season. Both teams, I believe, control their own destiny if they win out in the ACC. And Pitt somehow, despite being a top 10 offense and defense in college football, is still only ranked 18 in the country. So they have a real tough road test going down to Dallas. And if they pull out, they're once again a team that needs to start being talked about. And it will probably be the next most viewed television event in the country next Tuesday night, the initial CFP rankings. Pitt 100% should be a top 10 team, especially if they win this Saturday.
All right, here we go. Oregon, Michigan, give us your prediction. What is the score?
Oregon, Michigan, I sadly don't think the Wolverines will be able to pull it out. However, I think it will be closer than the Texas game. So I'll predict something like Oregon 34, Michigan 17.
He's intern Alex, and we appreciate him for coming in. He's gotten so good over the years, guys. On this Wolverine Wednesday, sponsored by Skinny Butcher. We appreciate you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Great job, man.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All
Talk
right.
to you.
Alex Ziolkowski, man. The kid.
He's
I'd put him up against anyone on college football. Especially I'd put him up against Anson. That's the one for sure I'd put him up against.
The big thing about him is he's realistic. He knows his stuff. And as much as he is devoted to Michigan, he can have a realistic conversation, which most Michigan fans are unable to do. I don't include you in that, okay?
No
Just so you know. Maz is square up in that conversation now.
You believe that, huh? I'm the one that's calling Michigan to win 4 games this year.
Well, they've won 5. You were wrong,
What
dog.
are you talking about?
I never heard that prediction. I've just heard serious deflection.
You
when
don't
it comes
hear
to
it because you don't even watch the
flack.
You don't even watch the game.
Well, it's because I was delivering
wanna
the
hear
DJs and I delivered to my man's tailgate.
I don't wanna
I
hear
had a
it.
great time with you.
DVR the game and watch
Deliver
it.
or stream to your phone.
There's such thing as YouTube.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to watch.
I don't really.
Don't come down on me, man. I'll come right at you.
I don't go back to watch games after they've happened unless they are the Pistons.
Well, you're on the air. You should do that.
Yeah.
You should try it someday.
Just Michigan ain't Clark County prison, so it's not the worst place in the world. That's all I'm saying.
Ohio State, what do you guys think about Ohio State?
They're a fraud.
Frauds, yeah.
But you know what? They'll make the playoff and they'll probably win a couple games.
I don't even
College
know about
football, what is it about football this year? And I know it's early in the NFL season, but just football just doesn't seem lackluster all the way around. Now, I'm into it. I'm interested in it. I'm watching. I'm dialed in. But teams just don't seem good. Like in the NFL, it just seems like so many disciplinary.
It's like 20 superstars are injured right now, basically.
Okay, I give you that. College football, what about that? Same thing, or
I think it's parity, and I think that college football fans are so used to just a few teams dominating that it's hard for them to accept the change of what is realistically happening now, and that is true parity with an expanded playoff system that includes more teams. NIL changes things overnight, and that's the healthiest future I see for college football. It's just taking a minute for people to accept that.
I get that, and I'm not running from that. That's what Tom Masaway was so happy. He wanted more teams, he wanted more opportunities, he wanted more parity. So I'm slowly coming around to that idea. But it's a lot of bad football. There's tons of penalties. There's tons of wide receivers not getting open. There's tons of fumbles and drop passes and missed tackles.
It's because they don't stay long, bro.
100%. Yeah. And I think the coaches that are coaching there realize like they're losing the love. So I think good coaches, I think maybe that's it. Good coaches, they're falling out of love with the sport. You see the coaches leaving, so now these kids aren't getting the best tutelage, if you will, because it translates into the NFL. A lot of these, look, I'm pissed at the refs for all these penalties that they're calling. But when you watch the playback, 75, 80% of the time, there are calls on the play, but it just seems very juvenile. It seems at the collegiate level where you should learn and improve on that. It's a lot of bad football on both levels.
And to your point, nobody has executed better in the NFL this year than our very own Detroit Lions.
That's
and
facts.
If you look at our coaching staff, an offensive, defensive coordinator, and head coach trio have not stayed together longer than ours.
2 years.
No, facts.
So when you talk about that cohesion and understanding and consistency, you're losing that in college. Like you said, the guys are coming and going, your players are coming and going. And in the NFL, there's so many trades and free agencies and coaches moving on. We have something very special here. Lions fans, we talked about it last year. Make sure you're enjoying this. We were talking about it on Sunday. There was such a weird feeling after the game because it was like we expected it.
Yeah,
and even though it was one of the most exciting games ever, it was kind of boring. Everybody here in Detroit just wants it to be, well, I guess week 2 of the playoffs, because I don't think we'll be playing in week 1. But take a minute, Detroit fan, and enjoy this.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it starts at the collegiate level and it's individuals. Guys aren't playing for a team. Guys are playing for self. Guys are playing for NIL. Guys are playing for cash. And then it equates to the NFL. You coming in, you want to get paid. You think a team owes you. You scrub your social. You do the whole song and dance, man. Guys don't play for themselves.
How do you coach a kid that's making more than you?
You can't because he's not listening to you.
Bryce Underwood's going to be making more than Sharon Moore if he ever comes here.
Yeah.
And he's not going to come here. There's no way the Michigan's landing this fish. I don't see it.
You got to appreciate it. You got to appreciate it. And I think Detroit Lions are building something special. They're building guys that want to be around guys and they're pairing their own self. We'll see how long it can last. We think it's a decade-long thing is what Anson predicts. Now, I tend to agree with
Maybe more.
We hope more. Let's switch gears for a second. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a commercial break, pay some of these bills, and then we'll come back and give you some more. Let's get a message in from the pregame, which I believe was switched with me. So it's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every game day, Neil Rule, you know who it is. It's my guy, Neil Rule. He is the man, Neil Rule. And Sean Belize. Shout out. I think he's a Michigan State guy. Bring you the best Lions pregame show, Sunday 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best in Detroit. Second Best is a cool bar, by the way, man. Right there on Woodward, man, right across from Go. Second Best is dope. Drinks are good in there. It's a good environment as well. It's down the street from LCA, down the street from Ford Field. It's right in the mix, if you will, in Midtown. Join us every Sunday. Home games at Second Best Bar in Detroit. Your official guide to Lions Game Day, brought to you by Sabbath Coffee Roasters and Tell Them more about it.
And you can fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
That's my guy.
Hey, KG here to tell y'all about New Holland, the Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company, made right here in the great state of Michigan, man. And let me tell you, all natural ingredients for a better flavor. It's got grapefruit. It's got gin. It's got everything you need for a good long drink, man. These are great at the Lions watch parties. Y'all done seen me smash them. I support this fully. It's one of the best drinks out there. Taller is your local long drink. And while you're getting some long drinks, why don't you peruse our merch store? Go to woodwardsports.com, click that merch tab, and you can get everything you need to get fresh and fly for the games. Do not give up on them Pistons, man. We got Pistons gear. We got Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, everything that you need to get fresh for the games, but only if you go to woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab. Bray.
Oh, it's time to get you some money, and that is Caesars Sportsbook. Last night, I told you, Easy Bet was ready freaking home run. I got it in the first freaking inning. And you know why I did that? I did the Caesars Sportsbook. Scan that QR code above my head. If you wager up to $1,000 and the bet doesn't work, you still get the bet back in bonus bets. You gotta use you gotta use the promo code, though, ladies and gentlemen. That is Woodward 1000 in all caps. It's the place to go. They got a lot of those bets for you tonight. World Series Game 5, best place to go. Go to Caesars Sportsbook when you sell some cash. Welcome back into the show. Just under about 20 plus minutes left in the show. How you feeling over there, Anson?
I feel great, man. We hit 100 likes real quick.
Okay.
Chat's responsive. I know everybody wanted to talk about JAMO today, but chat, you guys have been awesome. Let's pound those likes. Let's get up to 150. Let's get another W this weekend, Brad. I think the Lions are really going to smash.
Problem with
the
JAMO
Packers.
conversation, man, is just it's so much speculation. Like we don't know. When it started last week with the the testing situation, and now there's the gun situation, and they just haven't given us the full details.
No.
So I think it's fair.
And
It's
let's be
not
real.
fair.
Yeah,
Go
my
ahead.
bad. But
Yeah,
people
go ahead.
have preconceived notions about JAMO as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. The Lions kind of hid this 3 weeks ago, as I would have too. I'm not pointing the finger at them,
Yeah.
okay? But we had no information of it until it comes out in some muckraking news. And then you get the PES situation last week, which we've got no clarification on. Even like the whole gambling thing was kind of murky when it happened. So like you said, Braylon, we've never really been given any kind of details or closure in any one of these instances, and we just keep seeing them happen. So when it comes to a guy that you like, because he is so likable, 2 years ago, or last season, if this both would have happened, we probably would have written this kid off. But he was so good in the playoffs and so amazing, such a difference maker on this team to start this season, that everybody in Detroit loves this kid, and we all want to see you do well, JAMO. So let's just hang out with your uncle instead of your brother, okay?
Look, he's a good person, and he's in the best place in the NFL that he can be in. It's with the Detroit Lions and the culture that they have. So JAMO and the Lions, we'll figure it out. So we'll switch gears, and we'll talk about the rest of the NFL with my man Tom Mazaway.
All right, guys. We didn't talk about Monday Night Football yesterday. I wanted to bring that up. We had our short show yesterday. If you did catch the Monday Night Football
It was
game,
not worth talking about.
It really was okay. The Steelers are still winning, guys. Yeah, they beat the Giants, but they're still winning. Final score, 26-18. They've won 22 straight home games on Monday Night Football. Calvin Austin, a punt return for a touchdown and a receiving touchdown. He
did the same thing that Khalif Raymond.
what Khalif Raymond did.
Had never been done.
Isn't that something? Back to back.
Twice within the span of 24 hours. Like, that was impressive. I mean, when you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this has been throughout their history, they find ways to win. They find ways to win, and they're still finding ways to win. Russell Wilson, I'm like, who's he throwing this ball to? It's Austin. So
with three Super Bowl coaches going back to the 60s. They've only had 3 coaches, guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is really, I know everybody wants to sell the farm to get a championship here in Detroit, but I want to see Dan Campbell coaching this team 20 years from now. Is that
Me too.
crazy?
No, I'd love it.
Because it's not crazy in Pittsburgh.
No, I would love that. That's the kind of team you want to be.
20
They've
years
already
from now,
got
y'all
all
still
their.
want Dan Campbell?
They've already got all their
Always
championships.
Dan Campbell.
Everything they play for now. The Steeler fans, of course, they want another championship, but they live for that team. And the city of Detroit lives for this Lions team. We're every bit as good a fan as the Pittsburgh Steelers, who travel like no other team. Except the Lions now are starting to catch up to that team. So we're getting into that mold, but the Steelers keep winning. Russell Wilson, another win for him. It looks like Mike Tomlin, I guess he does know what he's doing.
Just to let you guys know, if Dan Campbell was still coaching 20 years, he'd be older than Andy Reid is now.
And he'd have a nice belly full of kneecaps. But I shout out to the real K77. He says, it's the culture in Pittsburgh. My friend, it's the culture in Detroit now, too.
It is. We've caught him, man, and we're on our way, man. Here's the Fox Week 9 or Week 8, because it was this Week 8. Here's the power rankings from Fox. Number 1, of course, still the unbeaten Kansas City Chiefs.
2-time defending champions.
And the Detroit Lions sitting at the number 2 spot.
sir.
You got anything, any issues with this board? Would you move up a team or move them down?
I love, as the season goes, lists because they ever fluctuate. I'm looking at teams now in the 20s that were in the top 10 a couple weeks ago.
The Dolphins.
They're
Remember?
not the only ones.
Yeah.
They're not the only ones up there.
Jets.
The Buccaneers. All right, here we go. You're looking at it. KC should be number 1. They still have number 15. They're still the reigning, defending 2 times over, so I like them at 1. I'll give them that. The Lions are playing the best football. However, in the NFL right now, we'll like them at the 2 spot. I think Buffalo's consistent. Josh Allen, he's been allowed with the running game of James Cook and those guys. He's been allowed to be patient in there. He's finding his tight ends a lot more often. Defense is playing much better than I think people thought they would. Green Bay is Green Bay. If you don't have Jordan Love injuries, maybe Green Bay is undefeated, but Green Bay is Green Bay, and they're playing decent on both sides of the ball. Defense, especially Washington, there's a surprise to everybody except Anson Wells, who called this before the season started. He called Jaden Daniels. Now, I don't know if he said Jaden Daniels being the MVP race.
I didn't go there, bro.
But you definitely said that they would be a playoff team and he would be the better out of the 2, so I appreciate you for that. The Baltimore Ravens, something's up with them. at 6. You have to put them there because of how well Lamar Jackson is playing. They have to be there.
Are they bored?
But
because they keep going so far in the playoffs, and this is expected in the regular season.
I don't trust them. I'm starting not to trust
Playing
them.
down to their opponent, like you said.
Downgraded.
Who is this defense?
I don't know.
Who is this defense? This
so
is
much
not the
talent.
Baltimore Ravens. This is not the defense that they used to use. Marlon Humphrey, one of their best defensive backs in the league, is injured.
He's missed.
But I don't know, man. And then the Eagles and the Vikings are week
I'll give you a
week.
team there you watch for. Look at number 19.
The Rams.
Yeah, well, we'll pick them to win the West.
Oh, yeah.
When the season started, yeah.
I'm picking them with you now to win the West.
Well, and
they're a game out. I'm picking them to win the NFC West.
Here, I'm gonna throw some teams out, and you tell me if these teams are cooked. Let's go with the 49ers.
Nope.
No, I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but does that mean they're cooked?
The Seattle Seahawks.
They're cooked.
Denver Broncos.
Nah, not their year.
Tampa was doing really good.
Not
Then you
their
got
year either.
major injuries. Yeah. They're cooked.
They're done.
No, they get Evans back in a week or 3.
Okay, they're not winning the Super Bowl.
Well, okay, but is Cooked not winning a Super Bowl? Because only one team did that last year.
I don't think
the
they
last
make
2 years.
They're not making the playoffs.
It depends on your
that's the
expectations too.
What I mean by cooked is either you limp into the playoffs and we know you're not going to win a game, or you're not going to win
Right.
a playoff.
Or you don't even get there.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not making the playoffs.
So I think we can all say that the Jets are cooked.
Ooh,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, big cook.
Crazy, huh?
I've been saying
super cooked.
Not only are they
what about
cooked,
number
surprise.
20?
Not only are they cooked, they've been in the oven and they're nothing but
Are the
dust-
Dolphins
dust now.
Are the Dolphins cooked with Tua back?
They never
Yes.
got started.
They're
they
done.
They never have
The
started.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Dolphins
They're cooked
got-
as well.
Yeah,
They got
100%.
nothing.
Number 20, Joe Burrow.
That's a
They're
great
cooked.
question. Because I think Trey Hendrickson is on the board now after they lost last week.
Bengals don't have a win at home. You're cooked if you can't win at home. Never mind winning on the road.
Yeah.
And now you guys, I agree with you on the Rams. I don't think that Tampa Bay is cooked. This is a 4-4 division right now.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Atlanta's going to win.
Yeah, I do think they'll win.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Even if they got to the playoffs, I just think it's just too many. We'll see.
Are people sleeping on the Broncos, Bray?
Nah.
This is the youngest rookie captain since 1967 for Denver. A lot of people wrote Bo Nix off, but this guy is kind of reinvigorating their run game, not turning the ball over, and they have one of the best defenses in the league. Are people sleeping on the Broncos?
Sean Payton was just tired and bored and wanted to come back to coaching. Nothing special is happening out there in Denver, so no, we're not
Oh,
sleeping.
Nix is good, though.
He's not as bad as I thought he
We're
was.
not sleeping on, but at this current
He's a
moment,
product of the system.
we're
though,
not
I think.
sleeping on
The Bears missed the playoffs. I've been saying it all offseason. I'm saying it now. Despite their record right now, if you look at their schedule, I think that the Bears definitely missed the playoffs. Where are you guys at Caleb Williams and Eberflus's Bears?
They want to hang Eberflus in Chicago. Every sports talk show, every guy on television wants Eberflus out there. Said he's never won a big game. But I got to say this to them, guys. This is the first team he's actually had that he could actually compete with. The Bears have been nothing for years. So I'm not going to put the first year on him. I'm going to look at him this week. Last week, he had a chance to win that game. Should have won that game against Washington. And he got too fancy. And he didn't call the play. The offensive coordinator called the play, but he okayed it. Don't hand off to your offensive lineman when you're at the 1 yard line. You've got Swift. You've got Rashawn Johnson. Come on. Do something other than handing it to your guy. You're not good enough to pull those tricks yet. You're not the Lions.
Yeah.
And you're not the 85 Bears handing off to the refrigerator. So he blew that, and then not calling a timeout. This is the Harbaugh problem. Remember when Harbaugh didn't call a timeout before trouble with the snap? Settle the team down, tell them what to do. Eberflus, call a timeout before that kickoff. Tell the idiot, Tyron Stevenson, that was jawing with the crowd, to make sure you stay behind the receiver. That's your chance. I don't want you tipping it. I want you to guard that receiver so he doesn't get the ball. And then, of course, 2 holding penalties. What did he have? 18 seconds to throw the ball?
Yeah, look, Eberflus just saying that. Like, I get sick of like people like making excuses for coaches. I don't care what color the coach is, black or white. Coaches are always making excuses for.
Yeah,
Eberflus just saying that.
It's been 3 years.
Anytime you can just leave it at this. To be honest, when you see a player like that will act in that manner as he's coached by you, it's a direct reflection of what you're doing. It's a direct reflection of how you're coaching that team. If a player feels that confident that he can jaw jack during a play, during the game, that's not yet over, and then come in and do that. It said you're not it starts at the top. It starts with the coaches, and it just doesn't seem like he's up to that. He may be a great defensive personality, but just as a coach, it just doesn't seem like he's the right material so far.
Watch them win 9 games and bring him back. All right.
Well, if they don't make the playoffs because of that game, that's unforgivable.
But they'll probably bring him back because he improved. I want to hit one last team on here because you and I were kind of feeling the Eagles before the season started. They limped out of the gate, but now they're healthy. They got everybody back. They're going to get Dallas back at the tight end position. To me right now, a healthy Philadelphia Eagles, obviously a healthy 49ers, but they're pretty far away from that. A healthy Eagles team, to me, is right there with the Packers in terms of a team I'm a little nervous about.
I don't even want to bring this up, but before the season, if you guys remember who I had playing in the NFC Championship, it was the Eagles and the Lions, and I did not have the Lions winning and pissed a lot of people off. So I hope that they get to the promised land and get a day with the Lions. But
I ain't scared of
it's
them.
just the Jalen Hurts experience. It's so inconsistent. I know he hadn't had the wide receivers. Now he has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith is back, and Saquon Barkley's been running the ball well. But it just looks so inconsistent. It has not looked the same since Shane Steichen left. Like, it looked very inconsistent before Shane Steichen. It looked really good that year with Shane Steichen, but ever since then, it's been trying to figure it out. And I feel like we keep coming up with excuses, whether it's the knee injury or whether it's this offensive coordinator or it's Nick Sirianni. At some point in time, if he doesn't prove us wrong, maybe Jalen Hurts wasn't the guy that should have got paid the money that he got paid.
Are you good with Shane Steichen not telling, benching Richardson for Flacco? Are you good? Because they talked to Richardson today. They said, what did the coach tell you? He's like, well, we're making a change. Did he tell you why? He said no. But you saw what A-Ridge did last week. Took a play off, went off. No one, and I mean nobody, is on his side when it comes to that play. And you're the Colts. You think you can win, obviously. So you're going to put Flacco in. I get that. But you drafted this kid number 1. You dumped games to draft this kid number 1.
They made a mistake.
I don't know what to say.
That came from up top, I promise you.
Jim
Irsay is their owner. He's not tolerated.
He was made aware. He was made aware that he wasn't starting before the press conference, correct?
Yeah.
100%. I have no problem with that. Look, the Colts defense and the Colts offense as a whole, like, they're a decent football team. They're a team. We've seen them the last couple of years be right on the verge of getting in the playoffs or just getting in the playoffs. So if I'm them, 100% he needs to learn what it means to be a quarterback at this level, what it means to be a leader at this level. He needs to sit this game out. But more than that, Joe Flacco gives him the best opportunity to win right now. So I have no problem with this at all. This actually should have come this way.
Anthony Richardson has been bad. I mean, last year he showed some flashes, downfield passing the ball to Pittman.
You know who he's been? He and this is why when everybody was so high on the Anthony Richardson,
I was.
Because who told you? Chad Johnson told everybody Anthony Richardson is the one. He's the guy. Everybody ran with it. I still saw the same college football tape. It's the same thing I saw with Will Levis. Like, sometimes tape don't lie. Like, sometimes it's like, okay, well, we'll get him from Florida and we'll bring him here. We'll get him in the NFL. We'll get him with the coaches and we'll get him this team. Sometimes what you see is exactly what the thing is. And it looked very inconsistent. It looked very athletic, but it didn't look like the skill set from a mental capacity was there. So it looks like this.
I think we were tricked because a lot of the balls that he completed last year were big downfield passes.
Yeah.
There's no questioning the strength in this kid's arm. But when it comes to accuracy and consistency on short, intermediate, and short, I mean, it's just all terrible. He has no touch. He misses passes that are short. He misses routine outs on 3rd and 4. And he just doesn't make good decisions like you said.
Guess what?
Go ahead.
No, it's year 2, so NFL teams have more tape on him as well.
The best thing that they could do is sit him, go behind Joe Flacco, and he needs to learn this season behind Joe Flacco. And I know that sounds like, why you rely on a second-year quarterback that's drafted in the top 3 to learn? Because he needs to.
Didn't he do that behind Minshew last year?
100. Gardner Minshew isn't Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Joe Flacco's an MVP Super Bowl winning quarterback. And we've seen what he's done. Last year, what Joe Flacco did in Cleveland, like, that's somebody that I would say, all right, I guess since I have to, let me sit here and let me figure out what it is to play at this level. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
We liked Richardson because we saw him in Indianapolis, what he did, what an athlete he was.
Yeah.
Sure, we hear things from other people, just like everyone hears things from other people. But when you see what he's done, breaks all the records, basically, that there was at the Combine, how do you not want a guy like that on your team? I thought he was going to be the next coming. I really did.
And that's what the combine is. Though the combine is, it's to show off the time, it's to show off the hops, to show off the ability, and it woos people in. Hell, Al Davis loved it. He'd go there and he just stare at all the players and watch all the 40 times. But at the end of the day, you still got to turn that film on. Yeah. You still got to see how someone sees a game. You're talking about a guy that's going to lead your team, a guy that's going to be in a lot of tight spots, a lot of situations, a lot of adversity. You got to have a guy that looks the part and makes good decisions.
Andre Ware 2.0, baby. Let's go.
How would he be today, man? Andre Ware. Did a lot of these running quarterbacks or these very athletic quarterbacks of the 80s and the 90s, did it just not work because teams weren't going for that? Like coaches weren't coaching that? They didn't want you running out of pocket?
Yeah, absolutely. Back in that day, in those days.
Cunningham was the only one they let get away with.
This is all brand new, man. And Bobby Douglas was before anybody. He ran for 1,000 yards 3 years in a row with the Bears back in the 70s. But that's all he could do. And the Bears were trash back then. I think we need one more break before we say goodbye.
All right. We got let's get Petty's last bills, and we'll be back in a second. First, we get a message from Anson and the post game because he knows all about it.
Look at those 4 handsome men, and if you want to come out and hang out with them this weekend, we will have the 1,800 promo girls at Hayes Social, 21 and Hayes in Shelby Township. It's the New Holland Brewing Company watch party. Starts off with the heavyweights. Come out and join us. It's honestly the best place in Metro Detroit to catch a game, hands down. Then afterwards, you can catch my man, Stick, and myself doing the post game. We'll be breaking down yet another Detroit Lions win. This whole party, during and after, is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, your taller, your local long drink, 1,800 tequila. Once again, they'll be there with their promo girls, so bring your friends out and Sabbath Coffee.
So for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call 313-530-1698. That'll get you in touch with Mark at Swiss Insurance, or you can head to SwissINS.com. We'll be right back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
If you want to know where the best Lions pregame party is going to be on Sunday, November 17th, that's right, November 17th, you can join us at Detroit's very own second best bar, located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show only at the second best bar. Come get some!
divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family issues. It's scary, spooky stuff, guys. But you don't have to be scared because Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law, right here in Birmingham, they got your back, baby. 10 plus years of experience and that ever important 24/7 availability. Give them a call or hit that QR code right above my head. There you see it. They'll take care of your filing fee if you mention the fact that Woodward Sports sent you. KDK Law, they got your back.
You're a special individual.
Hey, it's the sun, baby. The sun got me all fired up.
I enjoy my time with you, contrary to popular belief. You are my
Likewise, igualmente, hermano.
I appreciate that. You too. Tom Masway, before we go, let's talk about these sorry Detroit Pistons. And
the 0-4ers. We got to get the 0-4ers in there for Anson. Pistons at the Sixers tonight. Someone's back for the Sixers tonight. Pistons getting 5.5 in this one only. It's kind of low. Maybe the Pistons win this one.
Hey, listen, I got to say, shout out to Kool-Aid and the Detroit Pistons for getting me to my first game last week, opening night to LCA. And a huge shout out to my man Maz for getting me there early and then ditching me all game.
That sound like Maz.
I'll come up to the seats, guys. I'll come and visit you. Hey, KG, did you see Maz?
I didn't, but I was with the Woo Crew, though.
Hey, I didn't realize how high up you were. See, I'm down below.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is the highest pitch.
Right.
It is the highest pitch of any NBA stadium.
Correct.
Not a huge fan.
Maz don't do peasant
I
seats. You know
did
that.
like the renewed vigor, and I think they're playing well. They
wasn't
still just
climbing up
don't
there.
know who they are, though.
I was not climbing up there. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, there's a concourse.
I told you to come down.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I gave you my section.
Listen. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm in the media room, and it's just a bunch of dudes I haven't seen in a long time.
I'm going to read you what I wrote.
Yeah, you sent that in like the late third quarter, dog.
No. I'm going to tell you the time too.
Tell him, man.
KDK Law.
Here we go.
Tell him, man.
Here we go.
No.
You better get KDK because you're going to lose.
That was wild. Dude.
Here we
Got
go.
a whole Thriller video.
Let me find it. Here we go.
You know Maz bougie when it comes to.
By the way, Red Wings play tonight as well.
Anytime he enters an arena, bro.
Red Wings 4-4. They play the Jets tonight. Jets are 8-1.
He gave up on that text, KG.
Jets are I'm still finding it here.
You know he did. We love you, Maz.
We changed the whole subject.
Oh no,
Pete, what you got going on tonight, man? Pete, what are you thinking of this game tonight, man? The Game 5, Yankees, Dodgers, or are you basketball or hockey tonight? What sport?
Yeah, we're going to go with Yankees and Dodgers tonight, my friend. You know I love my hit parlays, so this might be the last hit parade for this season. So I'm definitely going to be putting together a hit parlay on my Caesar Sportsbook app, single hit for the players. Probably won't be using too many Yankees tonight. I think Aaron Judge may get at least a hit, hopefully a home run, but I think I'm going to load up Bray on a parlay with probably 3 or 4 batters. What do you got going on tonight?
I think you should load up on the Yankees players. I think Soto's going to have a night. I think Verdugo will have a night. And I think Aaron Jones finally goes yard. It's not hard for him to get one out of Yankee Stadium. It's not far for him. I think this is the night. I think they not take the lead, but I think they go down 2 or 1 after this game.
By the way, I shot you at 6:34. That's almost.
After you already told me you were coming up to the
seat.
seat.
26 minutes.
Somebody famous just walked in behind you, by the way.
That's fine.
A big-time basketball guy.
26
anyway,
minutes.
I will be watching basketball tonight.
Really?
I hate
the World Series is on.
I hate the Yankees and I hate the Dodgers, and I follow the money. Expanded strike zone for the Pinstripes tonight. They will get a second win.
I guess.
All right. Well, you heard it from my man Anson Wells, and I agree with him. Yankees will win. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks to my man Dan Miller for sticking with us. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We will get that fixed in the future. Thanks to intern Alex for the Wolverines Skinny Butcher breakdown. Wolverine Wednesdays, that is. KG, Pete, Tom Masway, Anson Wells. I'll see you guys mañana. See you, fellas.